This is Up for Grabs, a podcast where three unfiltered friends talk about anything and everything. And now, here are your hosts, Tracy, Kim, and Rachel.
Welcome to Up for Grabs. I'm Rachel. I'm here with my friends Kim.
Hello.
That's you. Oh my God, she's.
I'm reading my notes. Reading my notes.
Kim. Let's try that again.
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
And Tracy.
Hi.
Hi. Tracy, your hairdo, by the way, adorable.
Well, thank you.
She's got the double ponies, just half up.
I know she's got
Only
great
because
hair, anyways.
Alex and I split a pack of these from Target yesterday,
And you felt
so
obligated
I had
to
two
wear
that
them?
matched.
Oh.
Because you know how you buy a pack of hair ties and then you lose
Yes.
them.
Oh, yes.
And you're down to one for like 7 years, and then you buy a new pack. Well, these match, so there we go.
Well, good thing you didn't get four, because then you would have had to do the two on the top and then the two down
I'm
the
very
side.
youthful. So I didn't say what I'm wearing to work tomorrow. So
I was kind of known back in my day, not to brag or give anyone a visual they don't need, but I was the girl that did actually unironically wear her hair in a ponytail at the one ponytail at the side of her head.
My daughter Mary was a side pony.
I'm a side pony.
I enjoyed an occasional side pony, but it had to have a ribbon or a scrunchie
Why?
because that added to it.
Of course. You know her.
It's decoration.
Well,
All the pizzazz.
I was just a tomboy. I didn't have any decoration.
Oh, you were just lopsided unintentionally, or
I thought it looked cute. Didn't somebody on a show wear that, like square pegs or something? Didn't
they were very cute? Oh, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah, didn't she wear her hair on the side
yeah.
pony?
Oh,
Sure
yeah.
did on Square Pegs.
Yes, she
Well,
did.
I think I thought I was she, and I am not. So, lesson learned.
You are more Carrie Bradshaw.
Ew.
Okay.
Am I?
I don't know. I just
no
thought
one
that was-
has ever said
I thought that was a compliment, so I thought that's what I was doing.
You know me, so urban and independent, running around having sex with people. That's me. Yes.
Rachel has her hand on her hip as she is saying
She's real sassy right now.
Well, I hope
Mr.
you don't
Big
say.
says hello.
Well, I hope that's not where this is going. Okay, so today on Up for Grabs, I have a feeling this one's gonna go off the rails pretty quickly. Now that we've started, I got an idea, and I thought, you know who I need to hear about all of this is from Kim and Tracy. So I made it a topic so I could force them to tell me things. But at this last writers' conference I was at, one of the writing prompts was, if your life had to be boiled down to 10 scenes, almost like, say, if it were a movie, 10 scenes that are pivotal, that show who you are in your life, what would they be? And I thought, oh my gosh, that's hard. I wonder what they would be. And I didn't want to just do it by myself because I thought it would be too sad. So I made Kim and Tracy do the exercise with me. And Kim, you're shaking your head because you did say it was a lot harder than you thought it was going to be.
It was harder, and it brought up a lot of feels. Like a lot.
Yeah.
It did, in a good way. I mean, not in a necessarily
Yeah.
bad way, but I almost texted our little group chat and said, you only did this because you went to a writer's conference, and I don't have that kind of brain. But my husband talked me off the ledge.
So you're using his experiences.
You just filling in his show today. No, but and we worked through it.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you had help. No, I needed help. In fact, I started doing it, and I had to walk away from it, and I didn't pick it back up until the next day. It was one of those.
It's one of those things where I felt like, do I really know my life? Like, I don't know. It was weird.
And when you get older, I'm like, did that really happen?
Yes.
'Cause
Yes. It was
let's face
weird.
it, my remembrance,
Yeah, me too.
A little bit.
it's a little off.
I'm
I'll
going to
just tell
touch
you.
on this topic with my number 10, so I'm not going to say any more on that. But
Okay.
No more sneak peeks, but stay tuned for Tracy's number 10. Kim, let's start with you since we started, and you said you and Joe had a chance to hash it out. I'll let you go through it however you
okay.
like. I mean, in the order in
So
which
when
you
we were
like.
texting back and forth, you had said, the 10 scenes, and that if we wanted to add maybe like a movie, soundtrack, songs maybe that
Yes.
really brought up emotions during that era or anything like that. And then maybe who would star and who would direct. And this is funny because my star and my director came to me immediately, and
Really?
I do not know why, but they just did. And I don't know why she did in particular, because I am, you know me, I'm a streamer. I watch everything, and I'm not really watching anything with her in it. But okay, so I picked Kate Winslet, and I know this is very, very random.
I like that.
But this is why. And she's average. She's not in her acting. Like, she's a magnificent actress. And of course, I would want somebody to be a magnificent actress. But I look at her as an everyday gal.
Yeah.
And this isn't about me to put myself down or anything. She's not strikingly gorgeous, but she's not hard to look at. And she can morph into different roles. So I thought she could probably really play maybe different eras of my life.
Yes.
Something like that. And then I thought of a director, and I thought I wanted somebody to be funny, because, as Joe hates me to say, sometimes I'm funny.
Take that, Joe.
Yeah, take that. But can also add a little bit of tenderness.
Yes.
And so I immediately thought of Judd Apatow.
Oh,
So
I love him.
Yeah.
In his
And, you
movies.
know, This Is 40. Is that the movie that everybody watched when they were in their 40s? Is that what it was, with his wife in it? And I
didn't watch
Paul
it.
Rudd.
Yes. Oh, I
and
love
it was
him.
meant to be a comedy, but then you left there sobbing, because you were like, this is my life. So anyways, I would have him. So
Well, can I chime in? Because I did think of a few for each of you.
oh yeah.
For the actress playing you as an adult, I first thought Patricia Heaton, just because I thought of the middle, and I thought of how funny you like. I'm not that you're Frankie in the show, but
There's a couple episodes though.
you're very real
Yeah.
and you're funny.
Oh, thanks.
And you make the best of what situation is given you. And I thought of Patricia Heaton and the brunette. You know, I was thinking, who had similar hair? Tracy, did you think of anybody for Kim?
I did. It was Jennifer Garner.
Nice.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah. And I do love her. And I think she is lovable.
I think she's a
And-
lot more wholesome than me, but that's all right.
Well,
Wow.
I'm just saying,
I think Ben Affleck might think differently.
maybe not. Maybe, when you're commercials,
No,
she's
I
just
know.
very prim and proper. And
Okay, Carrie
okay.
Bradshaw.
Anyway, that's who I think.
Okay, so go
okay.
ahead.
All right. So, I'm a little nervous. I don't know why. So I kind of did it chronologically on just maybe different, bigger milestones of my life.
Okay.
So, and I did age it out, which I thought was weird, but I did.
I did too.
So I think my first real memory of being a child and having some type of core memories was 3 to 6 years old.
Okay.
So during that, I named that scene Innocence.
Oh.
Because I am kind of emotional today. I don't know why.
It's okay. You can
But
cry.
3 to 6 years old was pivotal. We moved from Indianapolis to Kokomo, and we just lived there during that period of time.
I don't think I knew that.
I
don't
never
know-
knew it in my life.
and just for a short period of time. By the time I was getting ready in first grade, we moved back. But for whatever reason, and I have a very hard time remembering early grade school and early life. This time in my life, I really remember, and I remember music being on all the time and just being innocent. My mom had just had Doug, my brother, and it was just the two of us. Donna Summer was always on.
Oh.
Barbara Streisand, the Carpenters. And I remember, and I was thinking about this today in the car. I remember my mom singing, and I still have my mom. So it's not it's not, but thinking, God, she's got the most beautiful voice. And so when I hear a Carpenter song, or when I hear that time of my life, I would love to go back to.
Yes. Because it's like you said, it's a time of innocence.
Yeah.
You were carefree.
Yes.
Yes.
And just being outside, and we kind of lived in a cul-de-sac, and there was, I have so many core memories from that time of my life, and it was awesome. So then we get to 7 to 13 years old, and I called it awkward and unsteady. And let me tell you, every year of that time was awkward and unsteady. I think it was it was hard.
Well,
you know,
yeah.
there's obviously the summer nights and all those different things that you can think about. I did go to my first concert. So New Edition was on my soundtrack because my dad.
New Edition was your first show.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
At the convention center. It was, yeah. And I didn't see Michael Jackson, but of course, Michael Jackson. I mean,
Yeah.
what girl, So that was during that time.
Okay.
Then we get to high school, 15 to 18.
Okay.
And no longer awkward and unsteady. I felt free and fun. And
Oh, that's good.
Trying to fit in, following. I very much enjoyed high school, probably too much. Madonna was the soundtrack. I mean, for crying out loud. Rap became more instrumental in my life, that kind of music, you know, like Ice-T and like all the stuff that you kind of felt like that you couldn't listen to. I thought about being in the car and listening to George Michael's I Want Your Sex and thinking if my mom ever knew that I was listening to this song, or being introduced to
He
Prince,
didn't mean you.
like Little Nicky and Purple Rain. Like
yeah.
I was in my you know,
I was asking questions. I was like,
me too.
Somebody explain this to me.
I wanted to know Little Nicky and why he had a magazine. I
didn't get it.
Me neither. It took me a while.
Thank
I was
God.
definitely a late bloomer. And it definitely, you know, when you go from a Catholic parochial grade school to a Catholic private high school, you gotta, I mean, unless you're hanging around a real rough crew, you gotta figure out things on your own. So my fourth scene, and this is just 1 year, was when I was 19, and it was the in-between, because I went away to school for a semester, but I didn't follow kind of what the gradual progression should have been. And I went from a semester at high school to going to a full-time job. And
Semester of college?
a semester of college to going to a full-time job. And it was a tough year. It was the in-between. And I would not have survived, and I love music, and you guys know I love music, if I did not have the Counting Crows around.
Oh.
August and everything after was my Taylor Swift.
Oh.
It was my healing soundtrack, that everything that was in that spoke to me. So that's that. So my scene number 5,
okay.
23 to 27. Joe appreciated this. Naive and clueless. Because I got married at 23 and I had Jack at 27.
Right.
So naive and clueless. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing.
And who does?
I wasn't ready to grow up. We were babies. And I kind of was losing music at this point, because I was like, what did I listen to during that time? I listened to 90s country.
Oh,
That was my country era. Tim
Nice.
McGraw, Garth Brooks, Alan Jackson.
Yes.
You better
Toby
say
Keith.
George Strait.
Oh my God, everybody. And that's all I listened to. That's all I listened to. So 6 was my scene 6, 28 to 40. So that's a big time. But I just named that Babies in Chaos. Because that's when I had my kids, and that's when I was in the thick of motherhood.
Yeah.
Soundtrack, good God, probably Barney. And I did love me some, who was the mean little boy that everybody complained about? Caillou.
He wasn't mean.
Well,
People thought he was aggravating.
Yeah, that
Well,
he was really
but I mean,
My
aggravating.
sisters hate him.
He wasn't
hate him.
mean.
So the Teletubbies
I don't know.
soundtrack, the Blues Clues soundtrack, you name it. We took Jack to see Barney live. And the Wiggles, and so that was.
big.
And I'm telling you that. Yeah,
I was big on The Bear in the Big Blue House.
Yeah.
I love that one.
All of those.
Yeah,
all of
them.
those.
And that's when I really got the feels. I'm like 28 years old to 40, really 41, because I had Isabel, but wow. Like, how do you pack in like 3 kids? And
You don't.
I was blessed to be a stay-at-home mom. Like, wow, it was chaos.
Yes.
So, scene 7 was scene 4. I was 41. And I named it Longing and Despair.
Oh.
So I don't want to get too deep, but most people that listen to this podcast regularly know that Joe and I got pregnant at 41 after many, many years of trying. We wanted one more. And I got pregnant with my daughter, Isabel. And she had a chromosomal disorder, and she died at 32 weeks. So 41 was a really, really hard year. 8, 42, and not that I was completely healed and moving on, but I found through God and just through light, everything, I found balance and focus.
Balance and focus.
So I felt like 42, the year after that first year, like the first of everything, I think I kind of felt like, okay, let's reinvent myself a little bit. I started cleaning houses, and I always have to explain myself. That's not a glamorous thing but it's a thing that I thrive in, that I love doing. And it made me feel needed, and it made me feel like I was, kind of back at being myself.
Good.
So then scene 9, I just named it How. Because I'm 50.
How is that?
How? Question mark. But not in a bad way. I think the anticipation of turning 50 was worse than turning 50. And I love the age that I'm at right now. So, I mean, there's a lot of tough stuff going on in my life right now and a lot of things, but 50 was kind of like, woo, I made it.
I made it.
I made it. And my last scene is scene 10, and I'm 52 years old. So it's faith and resilience. So, this is the feels. You look from you're 3 years old until you're 52 and of course all the things that you go through in your life. And right now my focus is my husband, who has cancer and is doing well. Nonetheless, he has cancer and is going through treatment. So 52 until probably the rest of my life, that's going to be my theme because, So, and I hope that I have another 50 years.
Well,
So
I think you do.
I love my life, and yeah.
Well,
So
that was a very
that's my
good
movie.
synopsis.
It really was, and I'm feeling inadequate on how I did, but
Don't
that's
feel
okay.
no. I just sorry for the emotions, but yeah, it just brings up the feels, and I don't know. It also is a neat way for someone to get to know me better.
Yes.
So.
And I've been making notes so far, and after Tracy's done, and I go, there's some common themes that I'm seeing, and I think it's really interesting that none of our stories are really the same, but they are.
I'm excited. I'm excited to hear.
Tracy,
Okay.
please try not to lie when you're doing this,
Well, there's no promises.
because your stories are wild.
Who do you guys have picked for me?
Starring you would definitely be a young Valerie Bertinelli.
Is it because of my hair?
Well, it's
She has a lot of good great hair.
and the
Okay.
smile, the sunny outlook.
Okay. I'm not mad at that.
Okay, yeah.
No, I think, and I really didn't either. It was very hard. I was texting, making jokes.
Who'd you say, Kim?
I said Jack A. And honest to
I'm
God,
not mad at that. I said.
honest to God, and this is funny. I watch Days of Our Lives. I have since I was little. She's a regular on Days of Our Lives right now as a
did not
character,
know that.
and I love her on there.
Who?
Jack A.
No way.
Whatever her last name is.
I don't know her last name. I just know her.
Her
Jack
last name
A.
was Harry, but I think
Good for you
But
to know
she
that.
went. Why
By
do
Jack A.
I don't know anything.
She's a major character on Days of Our Lives right now, and
Weird.
and quite honestly, she's delightful. And yeah, you would be a good Jack A.
Okay.
Really.
I am totally good with
Or
that.
Medea.
Okay. Also fine with that. I asked my kids because I didn't know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's hard.
2 out of the 3 said the same person for me, which was Meryl Streep. And I'm laughing because my life has been so dramatic. I need Meryl
She
Streep
would
to
play
show
that
up.
so well.
And then the other one mentioned, oh gosh, what's her name? The same person that Sam said she wanted to play her in my movie.
Who?
Which was Drew Barrymore. So I got a Drew Barrymore and
Yeah.
2 Meryl Streep. So
And a Valerie Bertinelli.
And a Valerie Bertinelli and a Jackie and a pear tree. Okay. So anyway, so I'm going to start off with, and these are actual like scenes because I didn't know.
Yeah.
It would be my brother's 21st birthday party, and he's 10 years older than me, so I was about 10.
Okay.
But that was a time where I could go back to my whole family being in one setting because my parents rented a union hall, and everyone was there. And my sisters and I all dressed in brand new jeans and white Oxfords because we matched. And my cousins
What kind of
were all
jeans were
there.
they?
I don't, probably Levi's.
I didn't know if maybe they were Jordache.
I know.
Oh, wishful
Anyway,
thinking.
I know.
But we were all there, and like Jugs catered it. You know what I mean? Like just
Yes.
all of the things. It was just a big party, and it was fun.
And you had
it makes me
everybody
think
there.
of my family that was all still alive. And
Did you have your first beer?
dancing? Probably not my first. I was 10.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, just kidding. Not really. I don't know. Anyway, and then the song, and I do remember dancing to "We Are Family" by Sister Sledge.
Oh, nice.
And I feel that way about my family all the time, and I love them. And my sisters and I and my cousin recently dressed alike. Well, recently, several years ago, but in Las Vegas, we had matching outfits. So that's a thing that we continue to do for the next 40 years. The next one I have kind of, and again, it's just me driving around in a car with my sister Angie and however many friends we could fit in. I had a 76 Chevy Malibu, and we would drive around and listen to music and pull pranks on people, and
That's a whole other podcast.
Or pull up and just like talk to people in the car next to us, and
at the mall,
or
Yep.
whatever, or just like on the road, and then say pull over, like a gas station, go talk to strangers.
Like, hey, good looking, I'll be back to pick you up later.
Yes,
Remember that,
we did.
Mr. Microphone?
We did have a
Riding in your
Mr.
car and
Microphone, and it
listening to
was
music.
fun. Yeah,
That's the best.
And this was pre-cell phone. We thought it was so funny. We had one of those princess phones, you know, that anyway, we would take it in the car and hold it out the window and say, it's for you, to somebody, and laugh hysterically. It's probably not funny, but it was to us.
It is.
And
It is.
the song that I picked was Beastie Boys, No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And the main, even though we listened to a lot of different music, at one point my car wasn't running or whatever, and one of the girls had an older brother who, for some unknown reason, let me take his car. He had like regularly to drive us girls around. I don't know why he would let me take his car, but he had lights in the back that would go to the beat, like the bass.
Oh, yeah.
And No Sleep Till
West
Brooklyn.
Side.
We were like No Sleep Till Brooklyn rolling in this Grand Am. And so that was what made me think of that.
Oh, that.
The next
visual.
one is like the 90s college bar. I was a waitress for a lot of years in Broad Ripple and in Muncie, and it was just fun. It was just a lot of fun. That's all. I met a lot of people, and my song is "Atomic Dog" by George Clinton, and just because
That's a good
that's
bar
one of my
song.
jams. It's just fun, and it's
Yep.
not even that we played it that much. I almost went with the Y Store because a lot of the places that I was at had local music, and so. But then
By the way,
I went with
not to
Atomic
interrupt,
Dog.
but the Y Store made me think, did you see that Situation Grey is coming to play at the Vogue in July?
They were here several months ago. One of the groups I'm in, everybody's like, "Are we all going to see Situation Grey?"
I never liked
what?
them, but
God, Kyle. Yeah.
I thought, what year is this? But go ahead.
The next one is just Larry and Being in Love. And I couldn't think, I picked the song Only You, The Platters. That was our wedding song. So
Yeah.
I went with that. Number 5 was The Birth of My Babies.
Yep.
3 babies, 2 pregnancies. And obviously they are my everything. I have 2 songs. The first one is Sunshine of My Life, Stevie Wonder, because they are. And then the other one would be Back Home Again in Indiana, because when Sam was born, for some reason, I couldn't think of any lullabies. Like, I was tired. I was exhausted. Her head was gigantic, and I had been having labor for hours and hours and hours. Anyway, the only song I could think of the words to was Back Home Again in Indiana. So I sang it on repeat until she fell asleep in the hospital, and I did the next night because she liked it.
That is
so then when the
funny.
twins were born, I did the
Oh
same
my
thing
God,
because it
that's-
worked for her.
Aw.
What are you, Jim Neighbors?
Did you sing like Jim
I might
Neighbors?
be.
Did you sing in his voice?
Operatic?
I might have once or twice to crack myself up. I don't know. It's not like I
God,
sang
isn't
that
that funny
song a
how,
lot, or
like, you just
It was a
something-
big part of my life, but I knew the
But that's
words.
a core memory. That is
That
great.
is what I say. So the next one I have, I don't even have a song for, but moving to Maryland at age 39 and starting over.
Starting
Yeah.
over.
And, just everything new.
Okay.
So there's that. 7, not going to cry, but Zach's Bleed gets its own thing.
Yes.
The song is Let It Be by the Beatles, and I've talked about that on this many times, but it was when he was in ICU and the only thing that I could do to make me breathe.
Yep.
So the next one is me moving into rare disease advocacy. I can promise you I never thought that would be part of my life, but it ended up being a big part of my life for a decade. So fundraising and going to speak to people on Capitol Hill about NIH funding for rare disease. I mean, I'm like, what am I doing? And I don't really have a song, but that was just a big part of my life. Number 9, just a montage of me being class mom, team photographer. I'm leaving here to go take pictures of Zach and a friend for their college graduation. And that was like my favorite role of anything that I did was just, it was okay that it wasn't actively doing it, if that makes sense. I was more on the outside looking in, but I was just, my kids, I was always a part of everything they did. And that is going to make me cry too, but they've always been very good about including me.
Oh.
and never making me feel intrusive because they know how much it means to me to be a part of it.
You're how much they love you.
And you're the keeper of memories.
And I am the keeper of
You
memories.
are.
A lot of their friends, I still have kids from Maryland that will say, hey, do you happen to have any pictures of me playing softball? Or
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, let me check Shutterfly. Here's the link, whatever, you know. So anyway, and I did that for a lot of people, not because I liked it. And I didn't like... Sometimes I just had to be in my own head so I could go stand at the edge of the field and take pictures.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to get into conversations that I didn't want to get into or whatever, you know. So that's what I did. I don't claim to be a photographer or necessarily good at it. I said I was prolific. If you take enough pictures, you take good ones.
I love how you said keeper of memories.
She is.
That's like moms really are.
That's what moms are.
And
Yeah.
you do it at a
Yeah.
whole nother level, and it's awesome.
Yeah, you do it way better than me. I do. But yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then the last scene would be us sitting here doing this podcast. And maybe talking about my job, my life situation, maybe being a cliffhanger, setting up for a big comeback for the sequel. Yes. And it was funny because I asked my kids and I was trying to think of, you know, like a final thing. And they all said this, that the podcast needed to have
my
a
God, that's
spot on the
cool.
list. And Zachary, who is very good with words, referred to it as an artistic passion project. And
Yes, Zachary.
I don't say those things, and I didn't know that I had an artistic passion project, but he said that that's what this was. And
That is
and
a
that,
really good way to look at it.
you know, I had made mention before of this being, I would love to have hours of tape of my mom talking, even just to hear her voice, let alone what she thinks on life or talking with her friends or saying ridiculous things.
So you're welcome,
So
kids.
it's a treasure
We are a keeper of
trove.
memories.
Keep for our kids. So, yeah, so that's it. And I don't have a director. Maybe Tarantino. I don't know. That seems like where this is going.
Did you do like a title? Would it be like Kill Tracy? What would it be called?
Yeah, no title.
No title. Did you have a title for
me
yours?
neither.
Okay, well, I had a couple titles. I was better with the titles and no
good. Yeah,
directors.
Did you have titles for us too?
No, I didn't.
okay.
I thought you'd have your own title. I didn't want to. I didn't want
I know,
to
that
impose
would've- that would've been hard-
my
taken a whole
feelings
other-
on you. But
Yeah.
well, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed your life.
Too.
Thanks.
I did too.
And I like to think that I came in and around what 6. Scene 6. When did I make my cameo in your life?
You were there between 5 and 6, the birth and moving to Maryland.
Yes.
Yep.
And then you got to come back in strong.
I had another guest star appearance.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Well, I think you did a very good job.
Me too.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
go ahead. No, I was going to say who I had for you. Go ahead.
Oh,
Get
okay.
started.
Well, okay. I'll start. I did decide that my movie would be kind of a coming of age thing, kind of shot in the feels of Stand By Me. So maybe Rob Reiner would be my director.
Okay. That's a good one.
Because like Stand By Me, it was funny, but it was sad.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it had all the, it was
It hit all
was
the
the gamut.
emotions.
Yes. So PG-13. We're, you know, I'm not doing anything Sex in the City. That's it's PG-13. And I think I decided that my movie would either be called Close Enough, Fear and Loathing in the Suburbs, or Echoes from the Bell Curve, My Average Life.
My eyes are a little bit big.
Why? What?
The second one, the echoes from the bell curve. I don't know.
What's the bell curve?
Well, remember in school when you'd raise your hand and someone would say, "Is this test going to be graded on a curve?" And everybody would be like, "Oh, please." And so the bell part of it would be the average part that everybody else got.
And
then
your
the
brain.
two smartest people would ruin it by making it like you
would
had the
skew
people
it
with
by
the
making-
F's and the people with the A's, and somebody the
I
bell,
love
the
that.
big part of the bell was me.
Yeah, I think I was
lived.
there too. That's not. I love
I
that.
lived for a bell curve.
Echoes from the bell
I
curve.
felt like I'm very average, and that's one of the things that I picked up. Kim said it too. She's like, I'm just an average
average.
gal.
Yeah.
I'm Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Tracy's extraordinary. She didn't say she was average, but you and I identified as just, you know.
I will say I will say that I never feel average. Sometimes I feel extraordinary, and other times I feel very low.
Okay.
So
But I love that you
don't know
can say
would
that
be
you
you're
feel
on either
extraordinary.
side.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
You're ruining the bell curve. You're on either side.
I'm a Rachel ruiner.
No wonder I like you so much. Well, yes. So I'm coming from the middle of the bell curve. So I did scenes from kind of.
who would play you?
Oh, I couldn't really decide. I tried to go with someone. At first, I said like Joan Cusack, like some sort of like.
I like
Like
her.
you know who she
artistry.
Well, no,
like-
it's just like you know who she is, and she's in stuff, but she's never the star. She's the brown-haired friend that is funny, but I don't know. Or I asked Rob, and he said maybe somebody like Megan. Is her name Megan Mullally? The
yeah,
girl
from Will and
Will
Grace.
Yeah,
Karen.
I love Karen.
Yeah, so just kind of that. I don't think I look like her, but
Yeah, so I don't think it's about look. I think, but yeah, I get.
snappy.
Who do you have for her?
I did.
Oh, you didn't have her.
I
Well, I
really-
have two for different. They're different age. I think they're different age. I don't really
Okay.
know. Sandra Bullock,
Oh, well, thank you.
Okay.
because she's fun, but she, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
she's funny. Doesn't take herself too seriously. So I could see her
Okay.
doing a lot of that. And the other was Diane Keaton.
Oh.
Okay, I could see that more
Oh.
so
Huh.
because she's witty,
Yeah,
but kind of in a like.
a little sharp, little pointed,
Yes,
little.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I also had Tina Fey down, just like an average looking
Yes,
person.
Tina
that's,
Fey is very average, like, but she's funny, but she can be self-deprecating. Like,
Yeah.
I love Tina Fey. Yeah,
Okay, so there's a lot of
I think
options
everyone
for me.
we've mentioned is very pretty. So you guys are calling these people average, and I'm like,
I mean,
don't see them
average
as
and
average.
like. Okay, I think Tina Fey is very pretty, but Hollywood standards, she's average.
Okay.
And that's where I was looking at it as.
Like I'm more Marianne and less Ginger. You know what I'm saying? If we're speaking in Gilligan,
I agree. I feel like
Gilligan's
I'm the
Island.
exact
Do
same.
we
Yeah.
speak in Gilligan terms?
For some reason, I just felt
Do we
compelled to
speak
speak that
Gilligan?
way.
All right,
yeah.
go on.
Oh, I meant
on,
to tell
Skipper.
you, in your, I'm sorry, we got to go back to Tracy's life. When your childhood days, Tracy's actress is definitely the little girl from Benson, Tracy Gold. You remember Tracy Gold?
Yes.
You actually kind of look like Tracy Gold.
Okay, you said Benson, and I thought it was going to be my favorite music, Benson.
Oh my
But
God,
that's
not
okay.
Benson Boone. I'm talking about Benson.
All right.
Robert Guillaume.
The OG Benson.
Way different, Benson.
So different.
How did you know his name?
I don't know.
That really?
I'm so embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed for you.
But you know what?
But who was that rich kid? That wasn't there also another Silver Spoons? Oh, I wanted to live his life.
You wanted to, Ricky Schroeder?
Yeah,
Yes,
he was
yes.
so rich.
When Jason Bateman was his friend?
Yeah.
Oh, that's when I
Sorry,
first loved
go
him.
off.
But anyway,
Okay.
that'll be a spin-off of my movie. But okay, so I divided it up, and my first scene is K through 5. I like to call that my carefree, no worries era. And one scene that just isn't super specific, but it's like the summertime and every kid in the neighborhood's playing, and I'm never wearing shoes, and I'm grass stained, and I'm sweaty, and we come in and have hamburgers on the grill and corn on the cob, and we run back outside and we stay out with the kids in the neighborhood playing jailbreak.
Ghost in the Graveyard.
Ghost in the
Yes.
Graveyard. No, it was delightful.
It was delightful.
It was so much fun. I noticed that was missing from my kids' life. Like, they didn't hang out with a ton of kids
Like
in
a
the neighborhood.
crew.
And to be quite honest, I thought my neighbors were kind of weird. I'm like, I didn't want them to hang out with their kids.
Okay, that was going to be my question that I wrote down was, did you play with your neighborhood kids?
All
but then
of
they
them.
weren't necessarily your
Yes,
school friends?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yes.
in the evening
Some were
time,
older, some didn't go to the same
Yes.
school.
there was
Yes.
this one kid that got a perm. We could have made more fun
Oh
of
my
him.
God.
Okay, go off. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, so that every day,
Oh.
roller skating, shooting baskets, you name it,
Mosquitoes everywhere.
riding
And-
bikes,
oh my God. Yes.
catching fireflies.
Yes.
We did it. It was
It was the best.
It was it was picturesque, and it was dirty, and it was carefree. All of those things. The next scene will go to when I was in 6th grade through 12th grade. That was when I like to call this my, all of a sudden I kind of am less carefree and discover that there are things to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
My little world was kind of not shattered, but like it occurred to me that other things were going on other than my happiness. I also call these years my school with Matt years, because my brother and I were in the same grade because he got held back a year. He was older. But when we went to
didn't
separate
realize
grade schools.
you-
So in
Same grade.
K through 5, we went to different grade schools, and I forget exactly why, but it was a public grade school. But 6th grade is when we made the switch over to Catholic school. And so Catholic school just had 2 classrooms, and he and I were in the same grade, and we were in the same and shared, that common friends and people and experiences and homework from 6 to 12. And let me just say,
You're welcome.
I copied off of his science notebook every day in
so fun
the
to have
bus.
Well,
it's fun to have a smart brother.
yeah.
Never had to do a story problem.
He just did it.
Well, he should have probably taught me how to do it, but I think I just said, just do it, so I can just put it away and we can go outside and play.
I didn't know that you guys shared
so,
I mean, I knew you were close in age, but I didn't realize the whole that's awesome.
So we shared that. We shared our time. I think one scene, and this is super specific, but for some reason sticks out to me in this period of time. I was maybe in 6th or 7th grade. I was home from school. I had that really itchy polyester CYO like volleyball uniform on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I was probably had my knee pads pull up to my knees, standing there waiting for my dad to come home. And for some reason, my mom wasn't going to be home, and I knew that. And it's like, Dad will take you to the game. I'm like, all right. I waited. He didn't come home. And I'm like, oh, no. So at the time, if you recall, you got on the phone and tried to call your friends to see if they'd left yet, to see if their mom could come and get you on the way to the game. Well, I had waited too long, and everyone had already gone. No one answered their phone. So I was like, waited for someone to come in. No one came home. I was missing the game. The phone rings. It's him. And I was only in like 6th or 7th grade, but I was like, where are you? I was like, I never talked to my dad. I was mad. And he didn't say, but as an adult looking back, all this noise in the background, he was at a bar. And he's like, why? What, I'm like, you were supposed to take me to the volleyball game. And he's like, oh, I forgot your mom wasn't going to be home. And he's like, I can come and get you now. And I'm like, never mind. And I just remember I might have hung up on him and like that, like something, you didn't do that back in my day. Yeah. But I figured, well, if he's been drinking, he probably doesn't remember. But that's the first time I thought, you know what? I never knew what to call it. And it never had affected me, but his drinking is an issue. And that's the first time it hit me that it was like, only because it affected me.
And the disappointments.
I mean, I'm sure there was millions of disappointments that my mom suffered through prior to that, but it's the first time it occurred to me, like, I think I might need to worry about this. This is something that needs to be worried about. So that was an oddly specific story that popped right into my head. The next era, so I get out of high school and I go to college. Now I separated it. I have freshman and sophomore year of college as finding my talents and voice. I freaking loved college. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. I said what I thought and I didn't care and I had the best time. Yeah. I've kind of not turned back, but anyway, and a specific scene that kind of comes to mind for that is my freshman year when it was Halloween and we dressed up. Me and my friend dressed up as devils, and we had IU boxer shorts on. Remember, boxer shorts were really popular. So we had IU boxer shorts on and like black stuff, and because the IU thing looks like a pitchfork, and so we had like a devil outfit on, and it came the plastic pitchfork. And so I went to this party, and in order to get to the front of the line to get beer, I poked people with this. I was surprised I didn't get, looking back, should have been punched in the face. Yeah. But that was me. That was all you need to know about me at a party. If I had a pitchfork in my hand, I was going to hit you with it on my way to get to the front of the line.
Seems reasonable.
I thought so too. The next scene would be when my brother died. Like you said, you like to give those big things in your life their very own scene. He had gone off. It was our summer between sophomore and junior year of college, and he had gone with his sophomore roommate to Alaska to like work on fishing boats or something totally that he would never ever do. But anyway, he fell and died, and the scene that really sticks out in my mind for that is the day that we were going to the mortuary. So it was about 5 or 6 days after he died, because it took a while to get the body back to Indiana. I got a letter from him in the mail on our way there. Like the mailman was coming as we were pulling out of the driveway. And I said, someone's like, oh, we'll stop and get the mail. And there it is. And it was like a 6-page letter. And it was funny. And it was, but I was like, really? Is this what you're going to do? And so I just remember it was wonderful and awful all at the same time. And I remember people being at the mortuary. I had it with me. And I don't know who I gave it to, but like other people reading it, which really it wasn't their business. But,
but you probably were just like,
can you believe that?
You just heard from the other side.
Yeah. So that was definitely its own scene. After that, my next scene is when I'm doing my internship and having my first job out of college, which was with the Indianapolis ice hockey team. I call that my carefree, kind of a return to normalcy. It was exactly what I needed because I didn't have time to think. It was like the perfect, hey, why don't you work 80 hours a week? And I was so happy to do so and like get paid like literally nothing. Happy to do it.
Yeah.
All in. And I was really just able to kind of heal by just immersing myself into something else. And it was really fun.
That's good.
Yeah, it was meant to be that. Yeah, that's awesome.
The next one, Rob has his own scene. I met him through working with the ice. And I think most people can probably relate to this. He first said that he loved me in the concourse of Market Square Arena right outside the Pizza Hut. So that's love.
That is love. I'm sorry. Thank you.
I don't think I returned the sentiment right away.
That's an awesome place that you could say that where's the first time, like.
I just looked at him and I said, really?
Deep dish is involved. I'm in.
That is great.
Yes. So
oh my God.
Don't be jealous about that. But
I
yeah.
am.
So then scene 7 is when Rob and I were married. We're in Fort Wayne and I have Sam. So then it's like, when Kim talked about times of chaos, my scene 7 is Sam. My scene 8 is moving to California and having Lillian. And my scene 9 is being on the South Side, doing what Tracy was talking about. It's when you were in your room mom era. Oh, PTO president. Why not? Oh,
you coach, cheerleading coach.
Let's do it. What can I?
Vacation Bible School.
I'm in. They couldn't shake me. Oh my God, I was so in their business. But I was everywhere. And like those kind of scenes would just be just the chaos of, I think one thing that came out of when we were back on the South Side, one of the scenes that I definitely specifically would think of is when this is the year Tracy left. Tracy left me and I was the PTO president and I started writing this stuff for the newsletter and it reinvigorated my love of writing.
Forgot about that.
And it basically was me making things up to get people to support the PTO. And I made up just stupid things. I put pictures with them because why not? I had the best time doing that. And it reminded me, hey, wait a minute. I kind of like writing. Maybe, finally the kids are in school. It was kind of a rebirth, a refocus.
Yes.
And then my last scene, here I am, empty nested until my mom moved in. So then we got make room for mom. So we got the whole building onto the house for my mom to move in. And then, as you said and your kids said, the movie ends with us sitting here at this table talking about it.
That's awesome.
Weird.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Some of my soundtrack, just so you know, because we might have to make these available for people on Spotify.
I started putting mine together on Apple Music.
Because my soundtrack, when I was little, favorite song was Band on the Run by Paul McCartney and Wings.
Loved it.
Still Rock and Roll to Me, Billy Joel was my favorite song in 5th grade. The whole Michael Jackson Thriller thing, because if you didn't like Michael Jackson, there was something wrong with you. College was defined by Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction, all of it.
Yep.
I would go Sarah Smiles for Rob. Rob and I made each other a mixtape. He loved it. I included some Hall & Oates. Ain't Even Done with the Night was 2-year-old Sam's favorite John Mellencamp song.
Nice.
He'd request that in the minivan when we were driving. Had to put Ain't Nothing But a G Thing on there just because,
you're a G thing.
Well, Lillian was born in the same hospital that Snoop Dogg was born in, so I just felt like I needed to throw something out.
I see the connection.
She looks just like him. And then I put Landslide by Fleetwood Mac because that song makes me cry and no songs make me cry.
Yeah.
And we went to see Stevie Nicks in concert and I just recorded that part that I've been singing changes. Yeah.
Yep.
And time gets older and children get older or whatever.
Yeah.
And it makes me cry. So anyway, And then I threw some Hosier on there just because, he's currently my boyfriend. So yeah, that's our lives, kids.
Yeah, we went longer than we normally do. Not that much, I guess.
No.
Oh, good. We're good. I was going to say I put it, but I love that we did this and that I love listening to. It's a way for us selfishly to get to know each other and just to hear certain things that you didn't know about each other. And I hope that like it inspires other people to like kind of, I don't know, when you're in the car listening to our podcast, when you're done, just take the time to think about like just those, I don't know.
It's the little things. Like I said,
it's little things.
It's little moments in time that you remember you think, oh, that's so random. Why do I remember that? It's the feeling that it makes you feel when you really uncover it. And that's why it's important. And common themes that I saw through all of us, well, at least Kim and I are average. We've been through that. But late bloomer, yes. Chaos was a great word for when the kids were little. And reinventing ourselves along the way. We all have reinvented.
Yeah. And doing this, my gosh.
What are we doing?
We've done it for a long time.
Who the hell do we think we are?
Really?
Honest to goodness. That is what I think when I know that we do this. I'm like, why do you think anyone cares? Who do you think you are?
But
what are you doing?
We're doing it for us, too.
I know.
And for our kids. Remember, we're the keeper of memories, for God's sake.
Yes, we are.
We're saints.
I don't think that's what a saint means. I think you need to go back to your Catholic school because I don't think that's it.
Yeah, you're right.
This has been one of my favorite ones that we've done in a really long time.
It was rough, but
not that they aren't all, but I really liked listening.
Well, you guys make fun of me every time we put a podcast out and I listen to it. It's as if I wasn't there and I'm surprised by what we say. And then I always text you two and I say,
oh my God,
we did it again.
Delightful.
We did it again. Well, this is a good one, people. Pass it around.
Hear this one.
Pass it around.
We were there. I didn't even listen.
Oh my God. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us this time on Up for Grabs. Start thinking about your life and scenes and let us know.